Hello, and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the 6th grade concept of order of operations and prime factorization. This is standard 6.7a in the great state of Texas, and we are using item number 10 off the 2019 released STAAR test. If you have not done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, unpause it, and then we will look at our answers together. So we simply need to find the value of this expression, and there are only two things we need to consider. We have a minus and we have an exponent. But the problem is there is no A, B, C, or D to choose from, so we're going to have to come up with the answer ourselves. So let's see if we can figure out. First, let's remember our order of operations. So I always think of please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. That stands for the order that we do these particular things, so parentheses. There are no parentheses, so next we go to exponents, and we actually do have an exponent here. We've got this 5 to the second power. 5 squared is what we call it sometimes. And what that little 2 that's hanging up there, and what that means is that you're going to multiply the base number, so 5 is our base number, 2 is our exponent. I'll put these terms here, base, exponent. You're going to multiply the base number by itself. It's not 10. 5 to the second power, 5 squared, does not equal 10. It does not equal 10. That means you're multiplying it by itself 2 times. So we are going to say 5 squared is the same as 5 times 5. That's simply what it means, is you're multiplying the base number by itself 2 times. If you ended up having, let's say, 5 cubed, 5 to the third power, that's simply 5 times 5 times 5. So you can see how quickly these numbers get really large. So 5 times 5, well, that's pretty simple. That is 25. So now we're going to rewrite this here, and we're going to say 24 minus 25, because that's what our 5 squared is simplifying to, and all we have left is this minus sign. So our next in our PEMDAS, or please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, is multiplication, or when we look to see multiply, there's nothing there. After that, we look to divide. Let me put a little line right here. Even though we have to put multiplication and division in a certain order just to make this acronym work, they are actually equal. They are inverse operations. So if you come across from left to right a division first, you will actually do that before multiplication. Multiplication and division are equal, so if you see one of those two first, you can do either one of those two first. They just have to be in order to make this acronym work. And then finally we have an add, which we don't have, and then we come to our subtract, but I bet you know what I'm going to say. This add and subtract are inverse operations. They are equal, so you can do either of those in any order. So for some reason there was a plus 5 at the end of our expression right here, we would still do the subtraction first. So let's just go ahead and simplify. We got a 24 minus 5, and most of you are thinking, oh, I know what that is. That's minus 1. So we're going to have a negative number, which is fine. It's 6th grade. We can do negative numbers because we are, if you're thinking of how did we get to that negative, well, let's see. We've got let's think of a number line right here. We got 0. And this is where we have 24. So we start at 24, and we're going to go back 25. Well, if I go back to 0, I'm only 24, which means I got to go back an extra 1 to pick up that last negative 1, and that's going to be my negative 1. So that's where we get our negative 1, is you have to get all the way back 25 to the left on a number line. But now we need to bubble it in, and this is where sometimes students got it wrong. So if you're looking at the bubble chart for 6th grade STAAR, it's going to look like this. You're going to have it's not really a column right there, but it is going to have a decimal. You're going to have to the tenths and hundredths, and then you're going to have numbers up to the thousands, and then you're going to have a little plus and a little minus over here on the left. So we need to put a 1 right here, which is in the ones place, and we need to bubble in that negative 1, and there's our answer.